What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is day 27 of all Imperial Beer Theme Month here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today, once again, comes from Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers, and they are out of Framinghammer, Massachusetts, and this is their Salted Caramel Framinghammer, and this is the 2024 release. So this is a Baltic Porter with caramel, salt, and brown sugar. And on the side of the label, it says brewed with lactose. It comes in at 9% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, and this can is just over 2.5 months old. And I want to give a huge thanks, shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Rick, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail boxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Rick sent my way, and he hooked it up, as he always does, with some amazing beer, including all 4 variants from the Pastry Porter variety pack that Jack's Abbey released towards the end of 2024. So they took their iconic Framinghammer Baltic Porter, decided to do 4 pastry-esque versions of it, and they put it in a variety pack. It was a whole 12-pack that included 4 different beers, 3 of each, and Rick sent me 1 of every single variant, which I thought was really cool. I have yet to, right now, I have not seen singles of this. I've seen the Pastry Porter variety pack, but not singles. So really cool of Rick to hook me up with this one. I have been reviewing them this month in order of least to most excited. This is the one that I'm most excited about because I love salted caramel everything. Just give me all the salted caramel. Now, to date, my favorites in order have been the gingerbread variant, the fudge brownie variant, and then the tiramisu variant. I think the first 2 did absolutely phenomenal job hitting both of those flavor profiles. Tiramisu, yeah, a little bit of a tiramisu vibe to it, but it was my least favorite of the bunch. But I have given all the beers at least a 4.1 out of 5 because it's a fantastic variety pack, and I can safely say, regardless of the outcome of this beer, it's worth grabbing if you do see it on the shelf. So I also want to shout out a viewer of the channel, Rob, who indicated to me that I'm actually pronouncing Framinghammer wrong. I say Framinghammer. It's actually Framinghammer, not Framinghammer. And I always say this. If you come to my reviews and I am pronouncing something incorrectly, or I have false information, or I don't know the whole story, please post in the comment section and let me know. I don't pretend to know everything. I don't know anything. I am just a random dude on the good old intrawebs, more specifically YouTube, just spouting off about different beers. So I'm pretty bad with pronunciation. So Framinghammer, I will use that going forward. So thank you, Rob. I had no idea because whenever I talk about this series specifically, everybody here in the Buffalo, New York area that I've ever talked to say Framinghammer. So I just assumed that was the name. It's not. It's Framinghammer. And if you actually do the Google pronunciation, they tell you it's Framinghammer. So thanks to Rob for that. I do appreciate it, good sir. And I'm going to crack this one open. I am super stoked for this one. Please be as good as like the gingerbread and fudge brownie variant, because if so, I'm going to lose my shit. We're using the Trillium glass because I keep it consistent with all of these reviews. This is the glass that I've been using. We'll give it a nice firm pour here. Ooh, the head seems a little bit more rambunctious than the other ones, but a lot of people are like, don't cheat, Joe. Don't take that little cheat. Listen, if I don't cheat, it's going to fall down the can here. It's going to hit my coaster. And that coaster is going to get stained. And this is for show, not really a coaster. I get you. Do wash the cans, wash the bottles. I'm not licking germs. I'm licking the beer that I'm not missing out on. That looks fucking phenomenal. The best looking beer of the pack. It has about 1.5 fingers, almost 2 fingers of this beautiful tan-colored head. You could say khaki, you could say mocha-colored. It looks fantastic, looks creamy. Slightly bigger bubbles, but for the most part, tightly compact. Let's see what you guys are seeing with the bubbles. Yeah, a couple like, medium-sized bubbles. For the most part, though, it just looks so frothy and creamy. The body is more of a dark brown, more cola, root beer, Dr. Pepper-esque. You're going to see probably pitch black because my camera is horrible, and we're going to change that hopefully in a couple days. We'll see. No promises, but we'll see. Anyway, it just looks fantastic. Yeah, it does. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it's salted caramel. When it comes to this series and Jack's Abbey, they have knocked it out of the park with the aromas of these beers. It smells like straight on salted caramel ice cream, actually salted caramels, dark chocolate, salted caramel, literally anything. That's what it smells like. So you get that beautiful, just like caramel aroma. there is a little bit of salinity from the salt, and that brown sugar is definitely creeping on the back end. If they said they brewed this one with cacao nibs, I wouldn't be surprised, because this is giving me off more of like a dark chocolate salted caramels, which is my favorite. If you ask me what's my favorite salted caramel anything, it's dark chocolate salted caramels, like the ones you get at like the Costco's, the Sam's Club, the BJ's wholesale, BJ's warehouse, BJ's wholesale, whatever. We have Sam's Club and BJ's here in Buffalo, New York. We do have a Costco coming like the next year, but when you see that big tub of the dark chocolate salted caramels, that's this guy. Too many have been consumed in my lifetime. Am I going to sit here and bore you with like a bunch of things that I'm making up? Nope. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Rick. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. 100%. Yes. Holy shit, is this... I don't know what kind of voodoo. Are they using natural flavors? Like, is Jack's Abbey using natural flavors in this one, but just saying they're using real adjuncts? We've had this discussion a lot of actually, you folks out there, fine viewers of my channel, some friends, you'll say that, I've actually had like 3 or 4 conversations in the last like month about natural flavors. Some breweries seem to put natural flavors on the label, but then like on their website or Instagram or on tap, they'll actually specify the adjuncts / ingredients they use, which is wild. Why wouldn't you just put that on the label? But something like this, where Jack's Abbey is just putting those 3 adjuncts, they don't say natural flavors anywhere. Do they say it on the side? Baltic Porter with caramel, salt, and brown sugar. So no, absolutely 0 natural flavors, according to Jack's Abbey. And they have 100% hit the nail on the head with the salted caramel flavor. It is spot on salted caramel. If I was doing this blind, there's no way I don't say caramel at the very least, and most likely salted caramel, because the salted portion of it's a little bit subdued, but because I know it's salted caramel, like it makes sense. Body on this, higher side of medium, lower side of full, 9%. I'm okay with it. Maybe slightly thin, but it's all right. The mouthfeel has a mild to moderate carbonation, smack dab in the middle. It's soft, softer than anticipated. It's smooth, really creamy. Mouthfeel's better than body, but they're both pretty damn good. The taste, not going to, again, much like the nose, bore you with a bunch of tasting notes. Front to back, dark chocolate, salted covered caramels. The one issue I have with a couple of these, and I think it was the fudge brownie that I just reviewed maybe like 10 days ago. 9-10 days ago. I posted on Baltic Porter Day on the 18th, and you're going to see this on the 27th, so that's 9 days. Math, folks. They don't really have a Baltic Porter base. Like, I'm not tasting a lot of the Baltic Porter. But again, if you're going to say salted caramel Baltic Porter, I'm more interested in that salted caramel characteristic. Because if I could taste a Baltic Porter and I was like, oh, I get notes of this, and this, I'd be like, that's cool, but where's the salted caramel? I'm not doing that here. It's a salted caramel with a hint of a Baltic Porter. Yeah, front to back, dark chocolate covered salted caramel. The finish has a nice semi to full-on dry finish, mild bitterness. While it's rich, decadent, sweet, definitely salted caramel. It's not over the top. Again, I think I would like a little bit more salt, and I would probably absolutely lose my shit over this one. Might be a 5 out of 5. But as is, it's just really delicious. And if I was in the mood for a salted caramel beer and someone slid this one my way, I'd be satiated and super, super happy about it. There's a little bit of a warming in my chest from the 9%. Nothing outside of that. No astringency on the palate. It does lean a little bit sweet, like 60-40 sweetness to dryness, but it's not cloying. And it's just, again, for what, and we're going to talk about the price point availability momentarily, but for what they're charging for this, 9% Baltic Porter, pastry-esque, all those adjuncts, like, it's wild, the value you get out of these beers. There's not much more to say about it. It's salted caramel in Baltic Porter form. They've hit the nail on the head. I pretty much get everything. Caramel, salt, brown sugar, I think is just probably amping up the caramel and the salty kind of characteristics to it, because I don't get specifically brown sugar, but if you just said generic caramelized sugar, I would agree with you. I also usually read the spiel. It's very similar. Savor the decadence of Salted Caramel Framinghammer, an Imperial Baltic Porter that's pure dessert indulgence. This lager is a luxurious fusion of sweet caramel contrasted with a touch of salt. So the fact they say a touch of salt is correct, because I said it's more subdued. So maybe you don't want the salt. I mean, at least for me, when I eat like dark chocolate salted caramels or just salted caramel, anything in general, I do get a pretty decent dose of salinity. So I'm thinking that like they kind of toned it down so it wouldn't be overwhelming. But maybe I'm one of those few that want a little bit more salt. But outside of that, it's fine. It says immerse yourself in the opulence of flavors and elevate your lager experience. They have the same spiel, but they changed like kind of like one sentence. This is awesome. This is, I'll say this is my favorite, but by a smidge. I still think that gingerbread is kind of, the gingerbread one's more impressive. This is slightly better. So I'm going to give Framinghammer the salt, sorry, let me, because I was going to say Framinghammer, salted caramel variant. No, it's called Salted Caramel Framinghammer. So I'm going to give the Salted Caramel Framinghammer, the 2024 release from Jack's Abbey. I'm going to give this a low 4.75 and go 4.65. This is fucking fantastic. This entire pack is fantastic. Even the tiramisu, which I wasn't enamored with, was still pretty damn good. So yeah, this is an awesome pack. We live for lager, and that's the thing. I didn't say it in this review, but it's kind of, the fact that this is the fourth one I reviewed and I just kind of forgot about it is, I think, impressive. But these beers, and Rick agreed with me, especially with the last review, because they're lagers and they're Baltic porters and not regular porters, this has such a clean, like the cleanliness to this beer, the refreshing quality. And again, if you come to this review and you call me out on it, I get it. But until you try this beer, do not dismiss what I say until you try it. This beer is clean. It's somewhat crisp. It's definitely smooth, but it's refreshing. It's crushable. And that's crazy to say for a 9% pastry-esque Baltic Porter. But I'm telling you, it is the case. Rick agrees with me, which is why he sent these my way. But I'm telling you, it's fucking voodoo what they've done with this series. And Jackie O's is one of the best breweries when it comes to lagers. They have been for a very long time. They aforementioned Rob, who talked about the pronunciation. He asked me about reviewing Hoponius Union. I've had that beer numerous times. That was actually the first India Pale lager I ever had. So I need to review that at some point, the fact that I haven't. But I never see it as a single, just like fresh. I know they usually have them in like their variety packs and whatnot, so I'll have to be able to find that as a single. And when I do, I will review it because that was the first IPL I ever had, and it was delicious. I was like, I can't believe like a hoppy beer tastes so clean and like refreshing to me. Anyway, price point availability, as I said with all these reviews, $27 to $30 a 12-pack, depending upon where you are. I think Rick said he paid $28. And if we're talking price point, you're talking about, a 12-pack for 30, let's say $30 at the max, right? So you're talking like $230, $240 a can. Yes, it's 9%, has adjuncts, it's a Baltic Porter every single day of the week. And especially this one, 4.65 out of 5. And availability is Jack's Abbey. Wherever you see them, you should most likely see the Pastry Porter Variety Pack. However, we are now, by the time you see this in late January, and this has been out for, I think, like, I'd say it's been like 2.5, 3 months. So, well, no, this over 2.5. So it's been out for like 2 months, we'll say, 2 months. You should see this on the shelves. If you don't, it happens. Go to their website, check out their beer finder, see if it's in your area. I know it showed up here in the Buffalo, New York area. Like I said, Rick was able to send. I know it showed up, and I was contemplating buying it, but I don't need 12 beers. So the fact that Rick sent me a can of each was awesome because now I don't have to search for the singles, and I'm glad he did. So to recap in order, number one, this beer, 4.65, 4.6 for the gingerbread. I think I gave the fudge brownie a 4.5, and then the tiramisu a 4.1. So every single beer except for one got a 4.5 or higher. And the tiramisu, which I gave a 4.1, I just wanted the rest of the variants kind of hit the nail on the head as far as like whatever dessert they're going for. Tiramisu was just like, yeah, I get those adjuncts and those ingredients that make up a tiramisu, but it wasn't tiramisu specifically, if that makes any sense. But the entire pack is fucking fantastic. Like, I would highly recommend it to anybody out there. 9%, warming in the chest, no pit of my stomach warming, nothing on the palate. Just an absolutely fantastic variety pack. So kudos to Jack. I was going to say Jackie O's because I've been reviewing Jackie O's stuff plus Jack's Abbey. You can sometimes get confused, especially if you're as dumb as I am. Jack's Abbey craft lagers, Jack's Abbey kills it. And this is a perfect example of something that is, I think, fantastic. So yeah, if you've had this one before, any of the 4 beers in the Pastry Porter variety pack, post in the comment section, let me know. As always, longer review. We're getting down to the end of All Imperial Beer Theme Month, and yeah, I can't wait to finish up the month because I'll tell you what, it's been kind of tough drinking all of these every single day. I got a couple more days worth, and then I'm probably going to drink nothing but like 5% beers for a whole month. No, I won't do that, but it'd be nice to not have to review every single day a 8% beer or higher. I might sound like I'm done with it, and I kind of am to some degree, but there's a couple more we got coming up, and I'm very excited for them. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks again to Rick. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. I reviewed these in least to most excited, and I think I did a better job than I did with the AleSmith Speedway Grand Prix 2024 mixed 4-pack, because this and the fudge brownie, two of the best. If I would have just replaced the tiramisu and the gingerbread, if I would have done tiramisu first and then the gingerbread, I would have probably almost nailed it in terms of like least to most excited as far as what I ended up actually enjoying. But I did a better job with these than I did with that AleSmith mixed 4-pack. So I don't know. I'm starting to ramble now, so I'm shutting it down. Appreciate it. Till the next one. Cheers. Thanks again, Rick.